It was a cold winter morning. Snow covered the rooftops and the narrow streets of a small village. The sky was pale, and the first rays of sunlight glimmered faintly through the mist. In a tiny workshop by the corner of the street, a humble shoemaker named Ivan slowly opened his eyes. He rubbed his hands, breathed into them for warmth, and smiled, because the night before he had a dream unlike any other. In that dream, the Lord himself appeared to him and said, "Ivan, tomorrow I will come to visit you." Ivan could hardly believe it. "The Lord coming to me?" he whispered. His heart trembled with joy. So that morning, he rose earlier than ever before. He swept the floor, cleaned the bench, and tidied up every pair of shoes. He lit the fire, placed a kettle of water on the stove, and prepared a cup of hot tea and a piece of bread on the table. "If the Lord is truly coming," he said softly, "I want everything to be ready." Then he sat down by the window, waiting eagerly. Outside, the world was silent except for the soft whisper of falling snow. Suddenly, knock, knock, knock. Someone was at the door. Ivan's heart jumped. "He's here!" He rushed to open the door, but standing there was not the Lord. It was an old postman. His face was red from the cold, his hands trembling. "Good morning," the man said weakly. "It's freezing out here. Might I warm myself for a minute?" Ivan hesitated for a moment. He had been waiting for Christ himself. But how could he turn away this poor man shivering at his door? "Come in, my friend," he said gently. He led the postman to the fire, poured him some hot tea, and offered a piece of bread. The man's eyes softened with gratitude. "God bless you," he murmured before leaving. When the door closed, Ivan sighed. "That wasn't the Lord," he said to himself, "but he will come soon." The day went on. Snow fell heavier, the wind grew colder. Through the frosted window, Ivan noticed a small child outside, a little girl crying alone in the street. He hurried out and knelt beside her. "What's wrong, my dear?" he asked. The girl sobbed. "I lost my mother. I don't know how to get home." Ivan looked back at his house. What if the Lord came while he was gone? But then he saw the child's trembling hands and tear-streaked face. He couldn't leave her like that. So he wrote a note on the table. "Lord, if you come, please wait for me. I've gone out to help one of your little ones." He took the girl's hand and walked with her through the snow. House after house they searched. At last, as dusk began to fall, they found her mother. The woman burst into tears of relief, hugging her daughter and thanking Ivan again and again. When he returned home, it was already dark. Street lamps glowed like tiny stars along the snowy road. He looked up at the sky and whispered, "It's late. Perhaps the Lord won't come tonight." As he opened the door, he was surprised to see someone waiting inside. But again, it wasn't the Lord. It was a thin woman, her face pale and weary. She clutched a worn shawl to her chest. "Please," she said softly, "my child is very sick. I haven't slept all night. I need some help. Anything." Ivan looked around. He didn't have much left, just his coat, a few loaves of bread, and some coins. He took off his warmest coat and wrapped it around her. He gave her bread, a few coins, and said, "Take this. Go home and care for your child. The Lord will watch over you." The woman's eyes filled with tears. She whispered, "Thank you," and disappeared into the night. Ivan closed the door, sat down by the dying fire, and buried his face in his hands. The house was quiet. The food was cold. But his heart was warm. "I waited for you all day, Lord," he murmured, "but you did not come." Exhausted, he laid his head on the table and fell asleep. And then a soft light filled the room. The air grew warm and bright. He even lifted his eyes, and there, standing before him in a radiant glow, was the Lord Jesus, smiling. "Ivan," the Lord said gently, "I came to you today." Ivan's voice trembled. You came? But I didn't see you." The Lord replied, "I was the postman you gave tea to. I was the little girl you led home. I was the sick child's mother you helped. Thank you, Ivan, for welcoming me into your home and into your heart." Tears streamed down Ivan's face. He fell to his knees and whispered, "Lord, forgive me, I see now, you were here all along." When morning came, sunlight poured through the window. Ivan stepped outside and smiled. The snow sparkled like diamonds beneath his feet. He no longer waited for Christ to come, because he knew the Lord comes every day through the faces of those who need our love.